like a partner or a collaborator, beautiful things can happen. We can bring people from all across the United States to come here and get some of this energy. So I want to shout out the Phoenix LOC, Grassroots Bookstore, the Uhuru Academy, Lone Star RBG, Arkansas RBGs, Central Station Studios, Our Black Fathers Committee. These are all organizations around the United States who have put in their time and their effort, their conversation, their energy, their knowledge into making sure that this keeps going. And when I say this is the motivation, the momentum that we need to continue to uplift our people, right? Because nobody is going to save us. I'm sure we heard that a million times. So as each of us, we have that responsibility to do it. These type of events are to make sure that we have the momentum to continue to go back to our communities and do that work. So again, I appreciate each and every last one of you for joining it. It means a lot. That means when I look out there, I see other brothers and sisters who have the same idea and the same passion that I have. That's my momentum. So thank you all for that. And I just think when we're talking about collaboration, we talk about each other, it's a lot easier for us. Most people do well working by themselves, right? Most people are great at it. And they use that actually as a comfort zone as well, because it takes effort. It takes you coming out of your comfort zone to actually collaborate with someone, to work as a team. So when we're saying these different things like unity and stick together and all of that, we're not necessarily thinking about the work that goes into it, right? You have to first accept it in your heart and your mind, but then put the effort and the work into that. Go out and seek your brothers and sisters that are doing the same work that you're doing. Collaborate with them so that we can make this bigger and better each and every time that we do it. So just think about that when we're designing or coming up with different ideas. It's going to be great when you're looking over it by yourself, because as I mentioned, it's easier for us to work as an individual. But the benefits, you're going to see the true benefits when you're able to take those ideas and collaborate with your brothers and sisters in your community. So please continue to share those with me. Our Black Fathers Committee, we're a resource here for all, and not just here in Phoenix, but all across the United States, the world, period. We are a resource to you all. And that's what we have here as well, resources. Use your resources when you have them. Do not be afraid to pick up that phone and say, hey, brother, I know you do this, or can you help me with this? Or, hey, sister, I know this is your expertise. What do you think about this idea? Just simple conversation starters. We really have to get out of our comfort zones when it comes to our people and ask questions, talk to each other. So I'm sure a lot of people in this room, we're aware of that, but as a reminder, just small conversation can take you far. Another thing when we're doing community work, I want to make sure that we remember and we keep the idea that we're not selling, we're serving.
That's right.
Right? So a lot of times people get mixed up. When you're going out to help the people, it's always typically something for sale, or can you do this, or can you do that for me in return? But that's not going to get us to where we need to get to. Because for one, our people are coming out of, we are unlearning some of our financial etiquette and relearning some more financial responsibility. So when we're thinking it costs and different things like that, that can immediately turn people down. That's why these events this weekend are free events. It's not about how much we're going to make off of the event. It's about the knowledge that's able to be presented today and who receives it. And then that's bank.
That's right.
A deposit in the bank right there. Of course, none of this happens without funds.
That's
so
right.
In addition to it being a free event, donations are encouraged. If you want to donate, I can give you the Cash App. You can throw me a couple dollars. You can give it to Crondo, any other guest speakers. But just, if you have it in your heart, as they would say every Sunday morning, feel free, because we're working as a community. And you know that once you give that, it's going back into the community. If we pass any type of money around in this room right here, we pretty much for sure it's going back into the community. So it's not like you're giving anything away, you're just making an investment in your people. So donations are encouraged. The Cash App is OBFCAZ. That is definitely my intro. I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to call my brother up here, my family member, and my business partner who's been with me every step of the way, even before we even got on a conscious tip. Even when we was young and we didn't even know where our lives was going to be, I always had my cousin there with me. So to have him still with me on this journey is a great thing. You know what I mean? I know I can call on him. I know for sure I got my family Crondo with me. So I want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself, some of the things that he has going on as well. Great individual, great resource. So y'all give it up for Crondo.
So I just came up here to tell a few jokes. But yeah, man, I appreciate the introduction, family. You already know what it is. I love you. I love y'all as well. I just think what we're doing here, man, it's epic for me. It's epic for us as far as OBFC. It's epic for the city and Phoenix in general. We're natives, so we've seen the progress. We've seen the growth. We've seen the exponential growth in the black community here. So for us to be, you know, I like to call it factors of that community. I just feel dope what we're doing, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming out. People from the other states, I appreciate y'all coming out. People here locally, I appreciate everyone coming out. But I just wanted to speak briefly on something that I live by, and that's basically Sankofa. You know what I mean? Continuing to move forward as we remember our past, and at the same time plant seeds for the future generations to come after us. You know, that's OBFC in a nutshell, and I feel like that's what we have to live and abide by as far as going forward, picking up things that we left off, and also dropping the jewel and leaving planting seeds for the kids that come behind us, the future generation. You know, we all, most of us are parents. If you're not a parent, you're still a father or a mother figure to someone. So planting those seeds and giving them jewels to pick up, leaving things behind for them. That way they don't have to go through what we went through. As far as bumping our heads, you want to prevent that in any way possible. So I believe that's what OBFC stands on and represents. And then it's also as far as overcoming obstacles. Us as a people, I feel like that's one of our strengths, and it really shouldn't have to be overcoming obstacles. We should be able to see the obstacles, you know, look at the panoramic view, and also help the next man so he doesn't go through the same thing that you went through and makes the same mistakes. Because a wise person learns from someone else's mistakes. You know, so I believe that's what we're doing here. I also, again, want to thank everybody for coming out, man. Peace of Black Power. You already know what it is. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up some of the speakers. The first one I would say, I also want to thank the Nation. Nation of Islam is here. They're also heavy in the community here along with us. You know, like Brother Bilal was saying, as far as collaborating, they support us each and every time we do something. You know what I mean? And I believe that there's power in numbers, and that's basically what we stand on: collaboration, coming together as a group. A couple of brothers in here, you know, we're making plans to buy some land, creating a DAO in the crypto market, and purchasing some land up in northern Arizona, and just moving accordingly as a group, as a unit, as a people. And I believe in economics, and I think that's one way that we can dig ourselves out of the hole. Everybody respects the dollar, no matter what color you are, and we need to get our dollars up. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Sister Nkoyo from Fort Worth, Texas. She can talk about what they got going on, what they're doing at the Uhuru Academy, and whatever she else wants to talk about. Y'all go ahead and give her a warm welcome.
All right, peace and Black Power, family. All right. beautiful surprise, but I stay ready, keep them getting ready. So, yes, I am Nkoyo Ojuok. I am a co-founder of the Uhuru Academy along with Baba Amin Ojuok. We founded the Uhuru Academy in Fort Worth, Texas, 2010, and we've been going strong ever since. We grow exponentially every year. So I want to say, before I get into the other gist of that, anyone who's out here, you guys, FC, you guys starting out, do not be dismayed with how, maybe you feel like it should be growing, but it's not. Just keep going, keep forging through, because all in divine time. And when you're doing the work, all things will come to you. All people will come to you. They need to be with you. Everyone who is meant to hear the word and get from that, they will be there. All things will work together. So just stay the course. Keep your head held high. Keep collaborating. Keep your energy just on the mission. It's always great to have that mission right there and keep looking forward, because there will be all things around you, in front of you, and you just step over, make them behind you, keep them behind you, so that you don't have to stumble over those things. So wanted to make sure I stated that, because that's something that we had to work through, and it was beautiful to have the community with you. It's just beautiful to have those partnerships, because that makes the work a little lighter for you. There's a proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. So we always make sure that we bring others with us so that we can go far. We're not about the race. It's not about how fast we get there in what we're doing on this journey. It's about getting there. So saying that to say, again, Uhuru Academy, we went online in 2016 before COVID, so we are now online. We are the only African-centered online institution, and you want to visit us at www.uhuruacademy.com. Again, that's www.uhuruacademy.com. We are revamping that, so we will be switching over, and that will be on there pretty soon, sometime in the summer. But we are now enrolling. We have our online education solutions is where it's K-12. I can say that now. We are K-12 now, because we just opened up. We're launching this summer. We're accepting K through second. We were third through 12. So now we're K through second. So we're K-12 school. We love it. We just finished our 12th year with over 50 students all over the nation. We are, and everyone, man, they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. They always come in early, and they never want to leave. So we are loving that, proud of that. We also have where we have Operation Reconnect. Operation Reconnect is a part of the Uhuru Academy Solutions, where we offer high school diplomas to those who have stopped out of high school. We can anywhere from 16 on up to 96. We had an elder that we gifted, 92-year-old, that we gave her high school diploma. She just wanted that as a goal for her, and we were able to do that for her. Our high school diplomas are accepted all over. We have people, students that have gone into the Marines. We've had students that have gone on into universities. We've had students go on and get into corporations and get their job and get whatever it is your goal. We are there to help you. We are going to make certain our diplomas work. You know what I'm saying? So we're not a diploma mill. We actually work with you. We make certain that you have a plan. You don't just leave with a certificate. You go away with a plan of action in order to accomplish that goal, the ultimate goal that you want.
Graduate you without it.
That's right. So we have that going on. We are also founders of the Temple of New African Unity, which will be coming back as well online. Of course, we did it in person, and once we left Texas, we just started doing a lot of things online. So we have that, which will be coming back, and that's just a spiritual center for all of those that are working in the community. Our only religion is black people coming together. Black love is black power. That is our religion. So you can be Muslim, you can be Rastafari, you can be Ifa, whatever it is. You can come in and you can gain a word, and you can also give a word. We're not word. We just all speak. We're just speaking to you, speaking at you. We're gleaning something from one another. We have that as well. We have plenty of other things, but I want to make sure that I just get those main things out. Operation Reconnect and the school, and also we have a podcast that we do from time to time called He Say She Wednesday, and that's what we talk about all the things that are going on in the community, all things going on in entertainment. We high side, we joke, we laugh, we have some serious talks going on as well, but we always we give it up to Amin to bring the humor. So he brings that humor, and you know, we have a great time. That is always on every other Friday night, sometimes on Saturday nights. Again, for those old school, you don't have to. Yeah, when we're able to get out and play, and then all those who like to say, you know, I ain't going out if it's after a certain time. No, used to. When back in, you know, in my early 20s, you didn't leave the house about 11. That's when the party just get started. But if you at home by 11, my age now, it's like it's time to just shut it down, click on online, and see what everybody else is doing. And so that's what we come to cover that for those mature audiences. So those are the things that we have going on. Again, follow us on Instagram at Baba Amin. Also, we have the Uhuru Academy is on Instagram. We need to make sure we push and get that up, and also on Facebook as well. I believe Bobby's on Twitter too. That's
at the Uhuru Academy.
You know, that's the intellect here. I say all that talking and typing for you guys. I like to talk too much mess, so I don't like to get on those kind of forums. Yes. Yes, sir.
How do you spell Uhuru?
UHURU, and that is, yes, you
I want to make sure the education thing is right. Okay, I got it.
That's right. That's right. So Uhuru is Swahili for freedom. So we are the Freedom Academy. We our 4 pillars that we stand for are transformation, spirituality. You would think I would know. I have been saying this for a while. It's on my shirt. That's right. Knowledge, spirituality, freedom, and transformation. Those are the 4 pillars of our school. We hit all of that with a little bit of everything and every day. Please, if any of you guys are interested or have any questions, please don't hesitate. I'm back there. I have a sign in as well, so I can get your name and email. This is for the whole event, so we'll be sharing these emails all online, so everything is readily available at your fingertips. So give me your emails, your names, and we'll stay in touch. I give thanks for you guys giving this time. Enjoy.
That was awesome. Thank you again, and Cordell Bina. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And African-centered education is very important when we talk about progression and separation. When we know that, or we should understand that separation is our only key, right?
That's right.
So African-centered education should be a very important topic in not just our communities, but our households as well. So thank you for bringing that up. We here in Phoenix, unfortunately, I haven't been able to be a part of the conversation too much, but I definitely keep my ear to the street, so I know that we're in the process of starting our own African-centered education school here,
Yes.
Or it may have already been started. I think the last thing I heard is it was pretty much a green light. It was go time. So that's going to lead us into our next speaker. I really wanted this sister to touch on a few other things as well, but if you can, Zoe, I want you to touch on African-centered education, what it means to you as being an educator, but I also want you to touch on, while you're up here, if you don't mind, a little bit of, and then I'll let True go after you as a guest speaker, but I want you to touch a little bit more on the energy around black male and female relationships. I think that's a very important topic. I personally don't like how some of the energy is going. I think there's a lot of negativity that gets too much attention. So I want to save some of that conversation for my sister, Zoe. Y'all give her a warm welcome.
Yes.
This is a very comfortable chair. Okay, thank you. Welcome. It's truly a pleasure me being here. Truly a pleasure. Thank you, Brother Bilal, for inviting me to be part of this space. I appreciate it more than you guys know. And I just feel emotional because I'm from the Caribbean, right? I was born and raised in a small country called Guyana. And having moved, there's some significant transitions that happened in my life. And having moved to Arizona, that was a significant transition culturally. And so having a space like this with like-minded people is so valuable, so important. So thank you for putting this together. Please excuse my little one, my 4-year-old. It is still on, learning space and
No
boundaries
explanation.
and where is that? So
Yes.
thank you for that. So as I said, it's a pleasure for being here. In my daily life, I'm an educator, teacher, a mother, and an entrepreneur. I've been in the education system for about 6 years in Arizona. So I came here to study at Arizona State University, and so I studied African American studies, history. My mother, why are you studying those subjects? Where does that take you? So I graduated and I ended up teaching at ASU. And I taught within the African American Studies department for about 3 years. And I studied Blacks in Science, Medicine, and Public Health, and Intro to African American Studies. Interestingly enough, the majority students in the classes were white,
Yes.
right? And so it was interesting, teaching to young white children about our history and our culture. Many of them were respectful, but there were others who were not quite so appreciative of the education that they were paying for. And so I've received emails from some of them not liking how they were feeling within the space. And so I had to share with them, I'm not here for you to feel comfortable, but you're here to learn. Yes, let's keep it pushing. So I taught within ASU for 3 years within the department. Life took a turn, and I ended up being offered a job at a middle school in Towson, Arizona. And so I've been at Towson, this middle school in Towson, for 3 years, teaching 8th graders English, right? So for those of you who are not residents of Arizona, Towson is a majority Mexican Hispanic community. And so I'm transitioning from ASU to Mexican Hispanic community and learning about that community. That's unique in itself. But what was so sad for me is that it was, I don't know, is there a time? I'm sorry, do I have a time?
You are the time.
Please, time me. On average, there were 2 or 3 black children in each classroom, right? So in my particular homeroom, I had about 4 black kids. The second one, about 3, the third one, about 5 or 6. And so for me, it's with my mindset and who I am, it's that transition was significant because I'm teaching from college level to middle schoolers who wish they didn't have to be there, right? And who I have to convince why it's important to learn English, right? But also I realized after a while that I was showing up for the black students. I was showing up for the black boys and girls. And I get emotional saying this. I know why.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because our children are coming from families that does not reinforce blackness.
Right. It's okay, baby. We know. Speak your truth.
They live in a community where they're not recognized and seen, right?
Right.
They show up in a school where they're not recognized and seen, you know? And blackness for them is what they get on social media. Blackness is what they see on television. And so many of them are lost, right? They're lost. Who are they? Who are they? So when I show up, right, in my locks, and my hair wraps, and my African print dresses, I'm doing so with intention, right? I'm showing them something different from what they even think is even possible, right? When I have certain conversations with them, I know sometimes they don't appreciate it, but I know that it's going to make an impact. At some point, they're going to get it. But if you're in that mindset, 13, 14 years old, how do you make yourself relevant, right? This is an age where they want to be accepted, approved, be a part of something. So we have young girls acting out, being overly aggressive, right? Young boys showing out, demanding respect.
Come on.
I have a student in my class. I asked for him to be in my homeroom. I want him in my homeroom because he was intentionally doing things that he knew was against the rules, so that I could be like, yeah, why? But for him, that's the only attention that he can get.
Come on, Zoe.
So, as an educator, is that what role am I playing? Am I your mother? Am I a teacher? Should I be a disciplinarian? And at what point do I draw that line? Because I can't tell the white principal that it's okay for him to sit at my desk because he just wants to talk. Right? Because that's the conversations I have to have. Why is he at your desk? He should be doing his work. He should be with everybody else. No. I need to build that relationship with him. Sorry.
No.
He's doing his thing.
He's enjoying it because as soon as I'm done here, I'll get my phone back. So that is my daily experience, you know, and being in 8th grade is that point where you're transitioning from middle school to high school, you know, and no child left behind. I cannot stand that term.
Right.
It's does nothing for our community. So we're pushing our students, our children to another level they're not ready for.
Right.
And that's our children. They're not ready. You know, so then that's that other level of barrier and shame, right? Because now I have to turn to this little black girl and say, you see your friends? This is their second language. This is their second language. Don't tell me English is hard for you. You have no excuse. But I also have to remember that they're coming from a family and a home environment which may not support the importance. So as we still graduate them, we still promote them, we still celebrate them. But we know they're not ready. And I tell this last story. Last week of school, I put the School of Hip Hop, you guys know School of Hip Hop, some of you. I invited them to offer after school program for targeting our children, the black kids, who were understandably and have been recognized as some of the biggest troublemakers in the school. And I told the principal that they're gonna benefit from School of Hip Hop coming in and working with them. Because that brings culture, we can talk to them in safe spaces. And one of the biggest troublemaker who prides herself in starting fights and being in every fight, she was part of the program. And a colleague of mine, you know, spent the day before promotion braiding her hair. Just speaking with her, pouring into her before she graduated from middle school into high school. you know, made sure she got the outfit that she needed so that she can stand with pride with her colleagues the next day of promotion. And so, how many of us here are educators? Anybody here educators? Right? It's, the question to you is, how do you show up? How do you show up? What do you see your role? Because too many of us just show up as teachers just to get that check. Because there's some days I'm like, look, I can't talk to you right now. Like, give me that Starbucks coffee because today's not the day. Right? But we still have to remind ourselves that if it's not us, who will it be?
Right, right.
If it's not us, who will it be?
Just might be up all the time.
In that moment, you know. And they may not appreciate it now, but your presence will leave a mark. And it did for me, for my teachers when I came here. And I studied ASU, predominantly white campus. The African American Studies was my home, my safe space. I saw those professors walking up, right, regal and proud and standing in front of that classroom in front of white students, telling them about themselves. So the educators, the teachers out there, you're making an impact, even if you don't recognize it. Thank you.
Strong words, I appreciate that. Regarding the African-centered education, I do salute every educator in here, and a lot of us are educators, and you know we don't even know it. So I believe, with that being said, you know you got to move accordingly. You have to have a presence.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to have a presence, and the presence has to be felt. You know, so I salute everybody in here, even just for showing up, just to get some jewels and very, very, very strong words. So I appreciate it. Yeah, but we're gonna bring up the next speaker briefly, Brother True. Working here at the bookstore and tell them what you got going on. You know what I mean, in the community here and what you have to offer. Brother True, y'all.
Peace, how's everybody doing?
Okay, good.
I do apologize. I'm not prepared for this. I wasn't aware I was going to speak. If my brother's going to call me, feel I have something I'm definitely going to add on. Grassroots bookstore that we started in 2019. It is an institution. A lot of the books that we have here contain information they're not going to learn in the what I call the public school system.
Right.
I can say that because I was in that system. Brother Lau said that he wanted me to speak on black men.
Sorry for that. I'm so sorry.
It's something that's very important to me because that's the foundation
It is.
of the black family. And just many of us, I thought when you turned the volume down, you wouldn't hear it.
This little button at the top, you gotta switch it to the left, and now it's on silent. You can
We're gonna talk later. But I'm sure many of us have seen Boys in the Hood, right?
Right.
And there's a scene in the movie where Furious Styles, who was pretty much my father, and then I usually turned to Furious Styles. There's a scene where he's talking to son Trey. He said, "You see those boys across the street? You're gonna see what's gonna happen to them when they're older." Why did he say that? Because it was my father. And me coming up, before I started, hanging out in the streets, running around with a bunch of people say what Caldwell is, running around with a bunch of knuckleheads because we're ignorant when we don't know about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I seen the reality of that movie, and all my friends were constantly going in and out of jail, right? And I was trying to understand why, you know, I was more on the right path than them, and then I saw it. None of my friends have fathers. You know, I had a curfew. I would have to be home by midnight. But I was sneaking out the window. When my father got me, you know, I got dealt with.
Right.
But in those times, I realized even that we need to teach the science of mating. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't take it seriously. And what often happens is a baby gets born out of that. A baby is getting born out of something that's not taken seriously. So, you know, just seeing the outcome of living that way, something I focus on in the bookstore is if I come across an author who has a book dealing with, you know, improving relationships. I was just getting to this earlier. I seen her books and I was like, yo, we gotta get those in the store. Because I devoted the whole section to improving relationships between black men and women, improving marriages, because it's that important. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about police brutality. We talk about racism. We talk about, you know, misogyny, anything. You know, nothing. It all means nothing if we don't get the family straight. Because that's the main, you know, that's the main, in my opinion, that's the main thing that has always been, you know, a nail in the side of us. You know what I'm saying? Like when Malcolm X talked about divide and conquer, they've done a pretty good job. A bang-up job. And so what I tell people all the time is like everything they give us, we have to reject it. So whether it be like, you know, the heroes they try to shove down our throat, you know what I'm saying, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. Starting on Kamala Harris, man. But what they're teaching us in schools, removing the black man out of the household in the 1970s, we have to reject all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you can, well, I'm gonna get on my soapbox about that. But, yeah, so, I don't know if I covered what you really want, but, what I tell my son, you know, every time I come across information that deals with, you know, better relationships, because he has a young partner and everything, I want them to succeed, you know, because that's how important it is. I don't want him to, I'll end it like this. I was married for 11 years, and you know, it was rough. When it was good, it was good, but when it was rough, it was bad. Everybody thought we were like, you know, the couple out here, you know. And then I had a friend and his queen. They moved in with us, and they saw the reality. You understand what I'm saying? I never, you know, said, no, I threatened, but I never left. You know, I never, ultimately I never quit. You know what I'm saying? Even though like, I could have put in a whole lot of effort to improve it. And so what I want to say to that is, there was a couple, the last book signing we had, you know, they're making books about, you know, improving relationships and all that and everything, but there was a time where the husband, he said that he wanted to call it quits. But now, they're improving all these relationships and everything because they persevered and they fought through. In this day and age, you know, people will get upset with you for not calling them back and all types of stuff. Don't. If you're in a relationship, you're married, you got a wife, you got a husband, make that shit right. Right. You know, if I was a leader, I'd probably be a dictator because if you was in a relationship and you had a child, I would put out a law that you have to make that shit work. Right. Because that's how important it is. You know, there's certain instances where it's understandable, you know, like physical abuse or whatnot, you know, but like I just don't think people really understand how important it is because they think about themselves as real selfish. You know who pays the price in the long run?
The children.
You know, they hurt. The brothers I used to hang around with in the streets, they were hurting. And hurt people hurt other people. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta have that structure, that love at home. So, you know, we can love each other outside of home, and I'll just end it on that.
Thank you. Okay, I hear what you're saying. You know, like you said,
say, you like, we gonna use the boys in the hood situation, you
Right.
know, you say, okay, the kids, you had a father.
Right.
What about those that still out there without a father? How do we get out and touch them? Because them still need role models.
Right.
And that's where it's gotta start at a young age, not when they get 15, 16 years old, they done made their mind up what they gonna do. But if you just teach them when they like 8, 9, 10 years old, you can put a lot of stability behind them. That's where they need to be reached, because like I say, right now, it's still, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, so I know it's still a bunch of people, kids, young kids, girls and boys, out there with parents out there still doing their thing, and no daddy in the house, and older sibling trying to raise them, make sure they get to school and all that. Yeah, I see it all the time, you know, and I try to talk to them myself personally. But you know, that's where it's got to start at. That's what I believe.
Yeah. I mean, you said it, but because just because I understand he's good, that's not what I'm saying. Doesn't mean that all the other ones aren't. So when I see other ones, especially when they come to the store, there's a assistant has a son. His name is Isaiah. Some of y'all may know him, but when the shop closed, I work like 12-hour days. I work my first job and I come here, and then we close at 5. And when he's here, I stay because I love his mother because his mother is like part of the LGBTQ community, and she even says herself like he needs to be around men because he's always around all these lesbians and everything. And when she said that, I was like, So every time I see him here, I stay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We got a pretty good relationship, whatnot, and I see the little improvements he's making just from me being around, and that goes for like a lot of other kids as well. And as far as the 60-year-olds and up, like those are the main ones that get around. It's hard. You're right. So you gotta get them in there young. So
I just want to say this. I grew up like in the 50s and 60s, and my dad, because just like he was saying, that's how it used to be. Everybody was parenting, the whole neighborhood, everybody was parenting us. And my dad even formed a dad's club. I didn't know, I was young, and, I didn't really understand the significance of that at the time. But I thought, when I realized what that was, and they would have these meetings, and that's what it was, like the older men or younger, because it was all ages of men, and they would have meetings, and these are things they talked about apparently among themselves to, build their community and, help each other understand how to be in their marriages and different things like that. I thought that was like fantastic, and so maybe that's something.
And I apologize, Brother Perry told me to say some stuff about where I'm involved with. We have mentioned.
Yeah, those are the things that's very important.
Fathers can come and talk about what they're doing, what they're dealing with. I'm part of the Vanguard Initiative, which is an archery club.
Yeah.
A lot of black people don't know anything about archery.
At all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's beautiful, because I think that's something like what you're saying, like not leave, and everybody talk to the children and do things with the kids, go get them.
And like the sister said,
Like this, they need to see this, like something like this. Oh my God.
Y'all nailing it.
Yes.
Like the sister said, the School of Hip Hop being implemented in a program in school. When I was homeschooling my son, you know what I'm saying? I understood it takes a village. I needed uncles, not
Yes.
just uncles.
Yes.
Like, so my son, I put him in the Sons program, which is a mentoring group, and he was in the School of Hip Hop because that was the only thing he had to be social with other kids.
Right.
And from the School of Hip Hop, he ended up just deciding what he wanted to do with his life. He's a dancer. He's kind of big in the scene out here.
Yeah.
He's traveling to Georgia later on for like
But no, that's good to know.
Yes.
I just think a lot of people feel like because they're not in an organization that they can't really do anything. You know what I mean? But it's about controlling the controllables, right? So like I help coach my son's soccer team. You know what I mean? And I talk to a lot of the black kids on the team, and it's just about helping who you can help and making strong. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
got to do it.
Because people ask me all the time, like, what's your answer to? And my answer is, like, it may not be a good answer, but what are you doing?
That's right.
Look in the mirror.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
here right now.
Right.
That's right.
There's people looking up. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I can't reach everybody, but I can't reach everybody. Eric can't reach everybody. But y'all know people that I don't know. And so who's gonna reach them if we can? So, you know, it's each one teach one. Nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. You know, and so we all have something to offer. And brothers touched on it earlier, but us, we are our greatest resource. All this technology and everything, man, Islam, reading Malcolm X when I was 13 changed my life. And I've been on that path ever since, you know, like, you know, hip hop, when I got to hip hop, was a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Chuck D, Brand Nubian, X-Clan, all that. There's a reason why you don't hear them on the radio. I don't want to keep them long. That's why I've been talking I'm here like, you know, during business hours all the time, a grassroots bookstore, so I'm easy to reach, you know, just, yeah, I'm here.
And I trust now that everybody is starting to at least understand and see some of the benefits of collaboration. Everything that everyone has pretty much talked about up here, I bear witness to. With the school that Nkoyo just spoke of, the Uhuru Academy, I've helped a few of my brothers and sisters go back and get their high school diploma, not their GED, but their high school diploma. And there's 2 of them that's actually in college right now from those diplomas. So I bear witness to that.
Yes. Like
Brother True was just speaking of with the bookstore and the resources. He can tell you right now, I come in here all the time and get books, different things. Those marriage books that he was just talking about. I just came in here and got one the other day, took it back home to my wife. We both going through it. Card games, different resources. Brother Javion right here. I didn't really give him an opportunity, but now that I thought about it, I'm gonna give you an opportunity as well. But he works with me with the young men in the community, right?
Yes.
And so when Brother True was saying he looked out for uncles in the community, his son actually went through our mentorship program, right? And he's telling no lies. One of the coldest that you would probably ever see when it comes to dancing, right? But he's also very intelligent, very mature, a leader. Yes, sir.
He said yesterday that he would slap Chris Brown about it.
I see him online talking about it all the time, and I stand with him on that. He is very cold, you know. So I just wanted to say we're not up here just talking. We also use each other, and
That's good.
we use the resources that we have. We don't just have them contacts in our phones and different things like that. We're actually putting them to use. We'll call you on it. When we're speaking of the Nation of Islam, my 2 brothers in here know I will call them for anything, and they can call me for anything. We've done so much work, and we're going to do so much more work that we can't even put it in words. It's a blessing. Brother Jay Rez right here, I called him not too long ago when we were just designing and still talking it out. I said, brother, we're gonna need some official security for these events. We got Baba Amin and his wife coming in here. We need solid security. The brother is official when it comes to that. Y'all think he's in here just hanging out, but we're on a mission. You know what I mean? So understand that you will be taken care of when you're rolling with us. We got each other's back. I definitely want to bring up our next speaker to kind of top it off on all of the topics that we talked about so far. And then we're going to have Brother Hannibal go last because I want to give some of the opportunity for some of the sisters to fill in. So I do want to bring up the man of the hour of the day, and even the night. But he'll tell you a little bit more about that. Shout out, Brother Baba Amin. Come on.
Don't worry about that night. First, giving thanks to the Creator. That's right. There's never been a mighty African nation that wasn't spiritual at its roots. And there's never been a mighty African nation that didn't recognize that it's bigger than us. That we're part of a grand equation. And we're key components of that equation. But the master of that equation, or master S of that equation, deserves our praise and our thanks. I also want to thank our ancestors. Without whom we wouldn't be here. Right. Period. They persevered, y'all. We sitting here talking about solutions. Right. And somebody sacrificed so you can be here to do that. And who are we to begin any endeavor without honoring our ancestors? Yes. And we got more than everybody. So we got to do the most honoring. I say, all right, it's an honor to be here. I'm going to be brief. So I know we have a temple tomorrow, so I'm saving my energy for that, right? But I want to thank the brothers with our Black Fathers Committee, you know, and I just put myself on the committee when they started. They didn't have a choice in the matter. I'm a Black father. What's going to tell me I can't be on the committee? Black father too, you know. So I want to thank them for throwing such a wonderful event, inviting everybody out. I want to thank Grassroots Bookstore. We got a spot. We got a spot, you know. The Black Bookstore is a cornerstone in the community. You know, something about them bees. We like to hang out them bees. The barbershop.
Right.
Beauty shop. Back in my day, it was the beaver shop.
Come on. Hey,
that's right. But now, y'all remember the beaver shop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'll age myself a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But then we got the Black Bookstore. That's two B's, right? And the Black Bookstore is a cornerstone in our community and nationwide. Our independent Black bookstores are in a continued struggle to stay open. And that's because ain't nobody coming to save them but us. It's for us, right?
Right.
They take anybody's money. We don't trip it. But for the most part, that's on us to build our Black bookstores. And I'm super encouraged when I go to a city and we have a Black bookstore that opens itself up to the community.
Yeah, right. Yes, right.
We need those safe spaces.
Yes.
When we talk about like the civil rights movement and that sort of thing, you learn about Dr. King and the Montgomery bus boycotts and that sort of thing. But we don't learn about the Black business owners that made all those protests possible.
That's right. That's right.
Sacrifice.
When you hear about the Montgomery bus boycott and all those Black domestic workers that refused to ride the bus and had to figure it out, it was Black business owners in Montgomery, Alabama that said, you know what, y'all want to carpool, use my parking lot. Park your cars here, everybody get in the car and go that way. It was the Black taxi service that said, you know what, we're giving reduced rides and free rides to everybody that's participating in the boycott. And Black business owners were basically erased out of the store.
Yes, they were.
Come on, look at the figures.
Right? The importance of ownership. We teach our students at the Uhuru Academy that ownership is protection. If you want to protect, you need to own it. Y'all know Black folks in the South that didn't encounter a whole lot of racism. They didn't. There's some Black folks in the South that didn't encounter a whole lot of racism because they didn't really have to leave their land. They grew their own food, made their own clothes. They just had to deal with them folks when they went to town to do business and that sort of thing. But 90% of their time was spent amongst each other.
That's right. That's how it was.
We tricked away from the land and moved into those urban centers. Now you're in a place that you don't own. You got to ask, Master, can I come in here? Can I work here? Yeah, you can work here, but you only work in that position. You can't get in this department. And then we write back home, it's great in New York City. No, it ain't. You lying. Don't trick me. I'm sitting on my own peach tree. Fruit just hit me on the head. And I'm finna leave this to go buy spoiled food at a corner store. Heck of a thing, ain't it? I want to praise my sister, Zoe, for your passion, for your commitment. What more proof do you need than to have a professional from inside of the system to come tell you that it's time to pull your children out of the system?
Right.
So you say, I'm just a mad militant. You can say that about me. Say that. But you ain't been in the system. You're right. I was never that much, very hireable. But my wife would tell you, I just change jobs like I change clothes. But to have educators inside of the system to tell you, no, they right. That's what's going on. That's what's happening. And y'all, if it's nothing that we can control, we can control where our children go Monday morning. If there's one thing we can unify around, we can unify around our children. Because we all want to see our children do well, don't we? That's something we have in common. When we founded the Uhuru Academy, you speak of collaboration. When we founded the Uhuru Academy, it became such a great catalyst for collaboration. Because when we talk about, man, you feel like your baby's been labeled in school? A Christian raised their hand, a Muslim raised their hand. Brother practiced Ephah, he raised his hand. Even the black Hebrew raised his hand. They don't agree with nobody. Black Hebrew had to raise his hand. Yeah, you're right. So you mean to tell me all this debating we doing and all our kids in the back of the classroom? You mean to tell me all this debate we doing and all our kids being called low performing? You got the whole key of life and your baby flunking the state test. You know what black people need to do to succeed and can't keep baby out of juvenile. And we setting ourselves up for a one-generation revolution. Look good, got your bow tie on, you selling your papers, you dedicated. Your son don't want no parts of that. Because 90% of his time is spent learning that you evil. That's right. That you teach hate. Then you come home, he loves you, and you give him what you can give him, and you think you competing with his peers? You think you competing with the school? But you really think you deep, don't you? You think you cold with it. Don't you know that even when you have your own schools, the hardest people to teach is your own children? Right. If you don't have a community to support that, you're in trouble. You have to build a community around your children. And that's what I'm seeing happening right here.
Yes.
What I want to ask you all to do is include your children in what you're doing. And not just by making them step up and be like you. Go to them where they are. And fund it. Finance it. If you finance their activity, you can influence their activity.
Yes.
Does that make sense, y'all?
Yes. That's it.
We talking about a variety of topics today. Black male and female relationships. I was on a panel last night, and they were saying, what are we going to do about the gender war? Right? And the first thing I said, well, first, I'm not going to declare it a war. Come on. Because black woman, you can't go to war against a black man without calling it a war against yourself. And a black man can't go to war with a black woman without calling it a war against yourself. So you're at war with yourself.
That's it.
No such thing as a black male-female gender war. We must be at war with self. Because that's what it is.
Right.
Where the black woman going to go without us, and where we going to go without her? Somebody answer me that question. But pretend like everybody else wants you for more than what God endowed you with. But y'all play pretending. Y'all can't get straight enough. I'm just saying. And brother, you can talk all as nasally as you want to. They still know who you are. They know. So when it comes to that all goes back to looking in the mirror. Your relationship with the opposite sex is predicated upon your relationship with yourself. That's what I believe. When you have a healthy relationship with yourself and you look out there and you see toxicity, you don't have no problem saying, I don't want no part of that. Come on. I know exactly how far our friendship can go.
Yes.
Because I know how far my friendship goes with me.
Come on, teaching.
And then vice versa. And what I would like to see this conversation evolve into, that you see on social media, that instead of black women telling black men what they need to do, instead of black men telling black women what they need to do, we need more black men telling black men what we need to do, and black women talking to black women about what they need to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
That should be the majority of the conversation. Because it's really easy for me to tell you what's wrong with you, especially if that's going to take the light off of what's wrong with me.
All right.
I love you, black woman. That's right. I love you, black man.
That's right.
And ain't now one of us right.
That's right.
Ain't now one of us where we need to be. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what we doing arguing? I'm less messed up than you.
A little bit.
Well, yeah, you the most messed up. No, you the most messed up. The black family's falling off because you more messed up than me. If you just messed up like I'm messed up, we make it. We just match our mess up.
Come on, man. Let's mess up.
It's less messed up. Or it might be a bunch of enabling.
Yes.
And we get together and not get any better together. We cannot improve together.
Right.
We can enable each other. Is that healthy?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So we have to have the challenges. We have to have the conversation. I'm not scared of it.
Come on, that's right.
Let's have it. Say what you need to say, black woman.
Yes.
Say what you need to say. What's on your mind, black man? But let's all of us understand that we all come to the conversation uneducated.
Right.
Me and the sister was talking earlier, and this is also why African-centered education is so important. When you're in an identity crisis, what you believe becomes who you are. But if what you believe becomes who you are, how can you entertain new ideas without feeling attacked? I've been working with young people for over 30 years. I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas. I got into education a very non-conventional way. I actually went to college on a full academic scholarship. I was listed in school. I remember my English teacher told me, "Whoa, we're going to push you because you smart and you dark." That's special. That's what I was told.
They don't know for a word, do they?
They don't know for a word. You make our legs as black as you. Right. If you will, we don't get those. Right. I went to school on a full academic scholarship. My first semester there, I took a course, a Black Studies course from a brother by the name of Dr. A.J. Stovall. I had never taken a Black History class before. I mean, I went to Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School, but I'd never taken a Black History course before. Okay, slaves was them, those people, right? And I took this course, and it opened my eyes. And I'm sitting here, I'm in school thinking about engineering. And thinking about my very light-skinned to white wife I was going to have.
It ain't me.
I need my kids to have good hair. Yeah, I wanted my kids to have good hair, man. I wasn't going to do my kids like that. Oh, y'all wouldn't think about it. Oh, y'all been woke all y'all life. I wasn't, all right? So, yeah, you know. But I started studying when I found out that we were the fathers and mothers of civilization. When I found out that our history didn't begin in slavery, when I found out white people wasn't here first and didn't create everything. At the same time, my homies back home, you know, some of us who come from the hood, you can get what they call survivor's guilt. At the same time, my homies at home, they banging, they slanging. All this stuff is happening at the same. All these forces were coming at me at the same time.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my city had a new nickname, the home of the killers. Yeah, Fort Murder Worth became the nickname of my city. They say they was loud in Dallas, but they'll kill you in the phone. And I came home after my first year, and I didn't go back to school. I came home, I was looking for something black to do. There wasn't a whole lot of black to do in Fort Worth. But we had Nation of Islam there. Mosque number 52. And I started hanging out in Nation of Islam, and I heard a speech by Dr. Khalid Muhammad called Goddamn White Man. Come on. Man, I listened to that speech, and when he broke it down where it wasn't vulgar, and he let me know what he was really talking about, God condemns those who work against life, right? Works against creation. And I'm like, whoa, that was clean. And that pretty sister came and brought me that red snapper sandwich. Sign me up.
It was all great.
Right? But the most important lesson I got was everything you need to know is in the book. You just need to desire to go study. Yes. Right? So when I left school, and with that attitude, I said, oh, I'm still studying. Right. I never stopped studying. Right? Then, you know, if you won't give, you call yourself a king, go start a business. Earn your money. Do what you got to do. And with that attitude, I left school and I began working with young people. I was just a young person. I was 18. And with a mentor of mine, we started a Rites of Passage program in Butler Housing, which is the largest so-called housing projects in Fort Worth. Now, if you're from Stop 6, you go to Butler, that wasn't smart in the 90s. Stop 6 was Bloods, Butler was Crips. But I walked in there with this. I walked in there with a heart full of love for my people at 18 years old. And I didn't have a car. I rode the bus. And at that time, the bus didn't go in the projects in Fort Worth. Right? It's too dangerous. The bus stopped outside the projects on Lancaster and Pine. I can never forget.
Right.
So my rite of passage, getting out the bus, I'm just gonna help my people. They got a group over in Butler. I'm going.
Come on.
I get off on Lancaster and Pine in this hood that's like the elephant graveyard on Lion King. Don't go over there. And in the neighborhood where we had group was on top of the hill. So I had to walk from Lancaster and Pine past a trap house right there, then an old abandoned school. That was the only black, was the most successful high school, black or white, in Texas for years, called Iron Terror. At that time, it had been closed for decades because of integration. It was an abandoned building. I walked past that abandoned building, walk into the neighborhood. What's up, cuz? What's up, cuz? Black Power, brother. I ain't say what? Black Power, man. You know, I'm working with the youth, working with the kids. I think they up at the rent office. All right. I walk up to the rent office. I get up the hill. I'm in there. White churches in there teaching. They came every Tuesday and Thursday. And they had put up pictures of white Jesus, Noah, all around the thing, right? And they just teaching, and then they giving hot dogs, right? And I'll never forget one of the babies who ended up in my class. I'm looking, they kind of tell I don't like it. And the baby look and say, "Don't worry, we just here for the hot dogs." So I learned on top. Black folks ain't stupid. We ain't sleeping, we think we is. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. We just here for the hot dog. But also let me know too, if you feed them, they'll come.
Definitely.
You offer something practical with the truth. It makes the truth taste better.
That's right.
Right.
If I'm hungry, I'd rather have a hot dog and a lie.
Come on.
Than truth with no food.
Right.
Come on.
Yes, it's a Santa Claus. I believe in the God that feeds me.
That's it.
That's right. Practical level. And I know he feeds you on Sunday and it feels good, but you can't eat that. When Monday come around, you want some eggs. You want some cereal. You want something practical that you can hold on to. Those lessons help shape the Uhuru Academy. We say it was founded in 2010, but it was really birthed in 1991.
I see.
Be practical. Give your people something they can touch, see, and feel. Understand, right, that greatness has already been in our community and systemically snatched out. You ain't bringing us nothing new. Your revitalizing was already there. They closed Iron Terror. When I got there, I learned that over the previous 10 years, before I got there, for the previous 10 years, 7 people had graduated high school out of that community in 10 years. That means they had whole years where no one from that community graduated from high school. When Iron Terror was open, they had a 95% graduation rate. And some of the top black leaders in the city had graduated from Iron Terror. But they couldn't keep it open because they chose to be included. They chose inclusion over ownership. And yet recognize when you all are collaborating and you do some things, they're coming.
That's right.
Your white friends, your white progressive friends, they're coming and they're going to come with a grant. But you're going to have to give up some blackness for that.
That's right. That's true.
When they come with that money, it's going to look good. And they're going to tell you can still be kind of black.
Come on, man.
You can put a Band-Aid on the bullet wound, but you can't
free
extract
your
the
people.
bullet.
You cannot free your people.
And you have a decision to make. But understand, as long as you collabing, you don't need them. As long as you understand that sometimes we need to barter rather than exchange cash, you won't need them. If you can equate time with money, matter of fact, time is worth more than money. You won't need them. You can get money back. You can't get time back.
Right.
We're We don't build schools. We grow schools. You don't build communities. You grow communities. From seedling on up, you water it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Everywhere I go, I see a school. I've had schools in smaller rooms than this. Everywhere I go, I see a school. And people say, well, your school's small. My school is huge.
Right.
You crazy? You just don't see the finished product. You looking at it as a seedling. An oak tree don't start out that big. You gotta grow it. Relax. Patient. All right? That's what I want everybody to focus on. This is a beautiful community.
Right.
Y'all some beautiful people.
Yes.
Been waiting to get around some West Coast talking people and say, over there. But y'all know what time it is. The legacy of black freedom fighting on the West Coast speaks for itself.
Right.
It speaks for itself.
Yes.
And it's an honor to stand amongst you. I ain't worried. You brothers keep doing what you're doing, man.
Right.
Sisters, keep doing what you're doing. We gonna conference. We got all day. Love y'all.
I love you too.
What do you think, next speaker? If I do want to add to it, just make sure that we understand that we have everything we need right here where we are.
That's
Right within us
Yes, ma'am.
and right now.
Right now.
There's nothing, as a saying, it says, there's nothing wrong with us that what right with us cannot fix. And is it Kwame Nkrumah? I always look at him, but I get the people mixed up. It says that, you don't go to bring Africans to those, you pull the African out of those, or you pull in that love and commitment out of someone. So don't think you're going in to try to save someone, or you're giving someone, taking something to somebody that they don't have. You're just reminding them what they are, who they are, what they have. That's I just brought that up.
Yes.
We looking at our babies that saying, oh, they don't want to learn, or why they not speaking this way. No, that's because we're foreigners to this land as well. We're ignorant. We don't know this is not our language.
That's right.
We're still figuring it out as well. So how we talk is how we talk. I understand what you're saying, but understand we're teaching them a different language. We do speak two languages. We speak English, that marketplace language, and we speak Ebonics. We speak our familiar language. We speak whatever.
Y'all thought she was quiet.
My man, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all thought I was the first, didn't y'all? I thought it was me. Okay, good.
Powerful words.
I love you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, powerful words, powerful people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's real talk. Powerful words, powerful people. I agree. And on that same note, like, they gave us the narrative. We gotta change it.
That's right.
We gotta write our own narrative. Take it back. Their narrative is pushed upon oppression, pushed upon BS.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta take that back, man. I want to bring up one of my partners, man, real briefly. Brother Tremicus, man. Okay. Phoenix LOC. One of the best speakers tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Peace, family, peace. My name is Brother Tremicus Muhammad. I am the chair of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee for Just the Elk. I want to greet you in the name of our Creator, because He created us to be in this moment. If we don't understand why we are here and who we are, we're in trouble in this day and time. When we talk about this RBG movement, we talk about the red, black, and green, and the representation of this flag. This is a 100-year-old movement.
Right.
This is not something that started yesterday. This is not something that's new. But it's a 100-year-old movement that faded in some way, but now is revitalizing itself.
Right.
Because black people have experienced so much in this country of hell.
Yes.
We've experienced so much in this country of oppression. We've experienced so much in this country of death and destruction of who our identity is, who our love for each other. The understanding, I heard somebody, I think I heard you just talk about it, Bob. I mean, the male-female relationship and how we need to grow together. We've been living under a system that is diametrically opposed to our existence.
Right.
But for some reason, and we know what that reason really is, we accepted the idea of our enemy that we should integrate. that we should assimilate, that we won't be successful unless we are part of the dominant society. But now, y'all don't.
Right.
Because if I'm in a room with integrationists, I'm in the wrong room. We come to an understanding that the only way that we could be successful today is if we are independent. We come to an understanding today that the only way we could be successful is if we are reliant on each other.
That's right.
We come to an understanding that the only thing we have left is our unity. You've seen the protest. We've laid down and played dead. We've done the God, you laid down and played dead.
Come on, Shamikas.
Wow. We put our hands up and said, don't shoot.
Come on. We still got shot.
We still got shot.
Come on, Shamikas.
We've done the sit-ins. Some of us have even, our brother Dick Gregory would fast and nearly starve himself to death.
Yes.
Yet we are in the same place.
Come on.
Yes.
When I leave here today, I got to go to East Lake Park to talk to our brothers and sisters about police violence.
Come on.
How long we been dealing with police violence? How long have we been dealing with them lynching and killing us? Look at the Red Summer for 62 cities for nearly a year. Hundreds of black people were killed in this country. And when the government of the United States of America, including President Woodrow Wilson and J. Edgar Hoover, did the investigation, they blamed us. Because we were demanding social equality. Who wants to live under that type of society? Who wants to live under that type of flag? What's the difference in the stars and the stripes and I almost said the skull and the crossbone, but the Confederate flag? We suffered the same hell under both flags. So why shouldn't we stand under our own flag? Why shouldn't we stand under our own government? Why shouldn't we educate our own children? We have got to get the fight in us.
Yes.
Y'all all right?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I would expect them to say anything because tomorrow.
Give us a glimpse, brother.
Tomorrow. But just for today.
Come on.
Black people, because you said a few moments, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Black people have been some of the greatest warriors in the history of the world.
Yes.
Right. We have not only conquered civilizations, but we have taught civilization to the world. When they trace the origin of human life, they trace the origin of human life back to the black woman.
That's right.
I heard the minister say, from the remotest of antiquity, we were there. When they got to the Americas, we had already been in America.
Right.
We just wasn't in Africa, y'all understand that.
Right.
If you go research the history of Asia and China and that region, we were there first.
Yes.
Buddhists wasn't a Chinaman.
Come on.
Y'all didn't hear me?
That's right.
We taught them religion. We taught them culture. We looked out into the stars and we explained to them this changeover of the stars and the appearance of this planet and the appearance of that planet and that constellation. We taught not only how to grow the food, we taught them the history of the world through the stars. Some say, Baba, I mean, that the stars wouldn't be there if we hadn't put them there. You got to go back to us.
That's right.
Y'all don't
Right.
hear me. Come on. So we are not a people who have to, you said it, brother, we're not a people who you got to bring something new to. We are people that just needs to be reminded of who we are.
That's right.
And if we are reminded of who we are, then we will take our place as the leader, the rulers of civilization. And you may call that black supremacy. But I would love to see black reign supreme.
That's right.
Like that. But that's where we headed.
Come on.
That's right.
I'm thankful to be here. We welcome you. I'm one of the co-founders of the Grassroots Bookstore. Phoenix LLC is one of the owners of Grassroots Bookstore. When we created the store, we created it for a space for a community.
Yes.
But I'm more so thankful to our brothers from our Black Fathers community for what you have. See, this is just like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
but you gotta see them with the babies.
Yes, yes.
You gotta see the warriors that they raised.
Yes.
See, this won't be for one generation.
Right.
See, we done with that. See, we watched it. We did it in the 60s. I'm going for real, but it's really. In the 60s, we protested and we got some rights.
Yeah.
We got to drink from the same water fountain.
Go to the bathroom.
Whoa. Because you know, white folks' water always. We got to leave our little raggedy school that was producing the leaders in Fort Worth and go into that raggedy school that it wasn't raggedy in period, but it was raggedy for our minds.
Right.
We got to leave our black business and black business development behind so we can become the first CEO of their corporation and take them into the future.
Right. That's exactly right.
So we've done that already.
Right.
And this is why the children don't want to listen.
Right.
The children don't want to listen because the children have watched for over 100 years, 60 years, and the children are saying, if that's the future, if me following you, if that's my future, that's the future that I don't want. So they rebel against the world, but they're ready for a new world.
They are.
Nina Simone wrote a song.
Yes.
A new world is coming.
Yes.
Well, who's going to be the ruler in the new world?
Right.
That's why. Last point. Seriously.
We love you too, bro.
That's why J. Edgar Hoover was looking for the Messiah. Go read the doc. It don't say black Messiah. No, that ain't what it say. It said the Messiah. He was looking for the Messiah to rise among black people. Because he understood from the condition of your oppression that you would produce the Messiah that would change the whole world.
That's right.
Well, who are you?
Come on now.
What are you here for today? But to be the Messiah and the Christ that the world is looking for, and that spirit and that energy comes through you and set down all tyrants and all oppressors, because you have been under the most tyrannical rule and under the most oppressor throughout the world. Wherever you go, you at the bottom. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Who am I, Christian?
Come on, bro.
The Jesus that the world is looking for is coming out of you. So thank you, brothers and sisters.
Man, that was beautiful. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. We got just a couple more. I want to squeeze in two more people. My brother L.O., who is also a member of our Black Fathers Committee. I want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Then I'm going to let Brother Javion introduce himself to you all and tell you about the great things that he's been doing. And we're going to close it out with Brother Hannibal. And hopefully some of the sisters go ahead and come in as well. I know that we're going to save this whole side of the room for them. So once they do come in, if we can kind of just like take everybody and just slide over, we'll be good. I appreciate y'all. But Brother Elo, introduce yourself.
What's going on? How everybody doing?
Hey.
Black Power, man. My name is Elo. You know, I'm a part of OBFC. My brother Bilal, relative Prondo, brother Javion, we all developed a tight relationship with each other, formed the organization, man, and, trying to do what's right in the community. Plant the seeds in these kids and keep them on the right track. I'm a native, born and raised in Phoenix. Been here my whole life. I see a few familiar faces that might know me. And, I'm not going to take up too much time because this ain't about me, this is about everybody else. So I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. Get it for me. I'm going to get out the way.
I'm just glad he didn't have me follow brother to me. You did do a good job. Your father said you did good, but this I'm not following that.
Thank you. Cool it down just a little bit.
out for at least another 2 days or something.
No, sir.
Oh, man. So, my name is Javion. And one thing that I would like to say is just how important this is right here. Like, this is amazing. All of us together. I'm somebody that I'm somewhat of a, I heard a sister, I believe a brother asked a sister earlier, like, are you introvert? Right? And I answered that question myself. And I like to say that I heard a friend, somebody I used to work with said he's an extroverted introvert. And that's something that I kind of, you know, that's me. Most of the time, like, I'm a person that I just want to just be to myself. Like, I can just be at home all day by myself the whole week. If it's an event, I don't really want to go to it. You know, maybe in my early 20s, you know, alcohol involved, I'd go party, you know what I mean? But I'm a person that genuinely, I just want to be to myself. That's just who I am. But every time I come to an event like this, or I have one of our conversations on Tuesdays on our Black Fathers Committee call, I always feel better after the fact. Yes. But before, I'm like, all right, I'm cool. But if you force me to get out, it's like, okay, I'm having a good time. I enjoy it. This is really important that we're all out here together and we're getting this knowledge. Like I heard Brother True, the conversation that he was having about the dynamic between the male and the female, the man and the woman. And you helped me confirm my next book, what I'm going to be discussing. Because I had a lot of different ideas of, 10 different book titles, the next book that I wanted to write. And I didn't know which one to go with, and this brother helped me. I heard a lot of things here that's going to help me out as a father. I had a conversation with Brother Hannibal earlier, and he helped me out as a business person. We just talked for 10 minutes. So we hear different things when we have these conversations, and we may not know that something is going to hit home, but it is. So I'm just grateful to be here. I love the conversation that we are having. I'm definitely going to be involved more. Even if you, Bilal know me, sometimes you got to force me to get out. And I was just talking to the people about how, I could be somewhat of an introvert and really not want to just get outside of my comfort zone. But when I'm out of it, and I enjoy it. Like this is, I could have been at home right now getting yelled at and beat up by my 6-year-old. You know what I mean? And that's coming real soon. His grandpa probably got him choked up right now. You know what I mean? I might have to call CPS. He might like, hey, But this is just an amazing. I'm glad that everybody came out. I believe like everybody that came up here and spoke, 100%. Everybody shot Steph Curry numbers out here. 100% from the field. Right. Batting 1,000. Everybody did a great job, and I learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody else did. So again, on myself, my name is Javion. I'm an author. If you want to purchase my book, I have my books here in Grassroots. Last book that I came out with, it's called Before 18, The Missing Conversations in Our Communities for Our Young People. So it touches on kind of the things that we were talking about the conversations that we don't have typically in our communities growing up, right? Financial literacy, the importance of surrounding yourself by positive individuals, the importance of ownership, the importance of knowledge of self. So all of those things is what that book touches on. So that's a book that I published in February, and then 3 months later, last month in May, I dropped another book called Extracting Peace Out of Pain. For those that know, I was diagnosed with brain cancer a year ago. So I published that book on the day that I got brain surgery, a craniotomy, which was May 17th. So I just published that book. And that's about my journey and the situation that I went through and the positive things that I got out of it. Because I could have easily just been locked up in a house crying all day, and just in a stew. Right. But I learned that I got a lot of positives out of it, and a lot of life lessons came from it, and it made me a better person. And if y'all want to know what that was, y'all go buy the book. The website for that it'll be here next month. I got to do the book launch and all that. It'll be here next month. Right now, the way my bank account said, I got to check it. Move it over. So again, author, I got another book coming out on my birthday in August, which is going to be a memoir about my life. And it was one of those situations where I always thought that in order to have like an autobiography, you got to be, rich and famous, and you got to have that same, typical story. I went from nothing to now I'm rich and I have this. But we all have a story. Yeah. Right. We all have a story. It doesn't matter where you are in life, financially, emotionally, whatever it is, we all have a story, and other people can learn from that story. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're 16 years old, 22, 30, 40. We all have some story that we can tell that somebody can learn from, and it can change their life. So that's why I decided that my next book is going to be my memoir that I'm going to come out with. I got another one coming 3 months after that, and another 3 months after that. Y'all learn about why I'm doing that. But enough about me. That's all I wanted to say. So again, respect and gratitude. I appreciate everybody for coming out, and that's my time.
All right.
That was awesome. Again, I bear witness to Brother Javion. As I mentioned earlier, he's also a mentor with our young men. And of course, when we all heard the news, as he mentioned, we was all devastated. But I think our strength came from watching him go through it all and seeing how strong he was. Because this happened to us probably in the middle of a pilot program that we were having, right? In the middle of we call it the survival camp. How's that, right? In the middle of a pilot program for the survival camp, we're hit with this news. And this happened to us maybe in March or April or so of 21?
May 10th.
Of 2021, right?
Yeah.
Last year. So by October, when we started the second program, y'all know this brother was there?
Wow.
You was there, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I was there.
This brother was
I was
there.
at the graduation.
In March, I don't think y'all heard me. In March of April, of that 2021, we found out that my brother was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he was gonna have to have surgery, right, on his brain. By October of that same year, he was back out mentoring boys. Wow. By December of that same year, he was running 100-yard sprints on the football field at the camping trip with me, racing me. So it doesn't matter what you're going through. If you want it, if it's in here, you're going to achieve it. You're going to get it. And there's nothing that can stop you. So just watching my brother right here, I'm like, man, I have absolutely no excuses at all. If he continues to live, then I'll be all right. You feel me? So thank you for sharing that story. That gets me excited, hyped up. I'm proud and I'm happy that we still doing this. We getting stronger. You feel me? Every single day, and as we continue to grow, we getting stronger and stronger. I want to give our sisters an opportunity to come on and fill in the room. As I mentioned earlier, if you are here, if you can just slide over. I know it's a few chairs on that back as well, and then I'm gonna have. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
MGT in the house. Any more chairs over there?
Chairs, man.
Brother Jamaica, can you go ahead and press stop on that? How y'all feeling? You all right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
All right. Again, I'm so grateful that we were all still here, and I appreciate you all for your time and patience. I think we were able to be fed today and nourished and our minds nourished, but it's not over just yet. We do have one more speaker, so I want to bring this brother up, but I had not. There we go. I was looking for you. This brother's been doing so much work. It's like one of the hardest working men that I've ever met in my entire life, Brother Hilario. You mind just standing up real quick, Brother Hilario? Seriously, when I came into my journey of just serving and understanding that part of my purpose was to serve our people, right? I've watched this man and understand what that takes as a man, right? I've sat here and watched him and some of the moves you have to make and just being aware of certain things. So if you continue to move like that, you make all of us stronger, brother. I appreciate it. So I'm not going to hold y'all up any longer. We do have Brother Hannibal Muhammad coming up to share a word with us. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Ashe. Peace and blessings, shalom and assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
Brother, y'all see these beautiful sisters over here?
Yes, sir.
I don't think y'all heard them.
Yes, sir.
I really don't think y'all heard them. Reason why I bring that up is because these sisters desire to be in the community. They desire to be around you. But first and foremost, we as men have to secure the community for our sisters. So the fact that you see these beautiful sisters in pink, all array of pink, beige, blue, like flowers in a bouquet of flowers, that's an indication that this environment has been secured, that our beautiful sisters can come out and be in the presence of the community. We as men have a real responsibility. Man, we've heard so much today, and it's truly exciting to be among you all, but I wanted to hit a few points off of what we've been discussing. My brother came in and he posed a question about us in the community and men being there for the children and the young men. And he used the analogy of boys in the hood. The exciting thing about that is this. If you know Bilal, if you know Javion, if you know these different groups, you know these brothers are already in the community making that presence. So what I don't want to do is negate what they're already doing. Right. So I want to make sure I put that in the forefront.
Thank you, brother.
Because there's plenty of brothers who's come through the Sons program. There's plenty of brothers who have come through Our Father's committees. I remember being at one of the Sons programs and getting pulled aside. Brother, I need your help. What you need, Chief? This brother doesn't have a father figure, and we need somebody to stand in his place today. Can you do that? Absolutely. That's what we do as men. We stand in the place to cover down for our men who may not be present at the moment. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. As men, we don't just cover down for the children, but we cover down for the women too. The women should never need, desire, or yearn for nothing that the men can't cover down and ensure that it's done. Y'all didn't hear me.
That's right.
Y'all didn't hear me. So I want to give a quick history about myself, and then I'll get into a few things, all right? I operate in the position of the student assistant minister of the Nation of Islam here in Phoenix, Arizona. That means I function and I assist to our local representative, student minister Abdul Iman Muhammad, who he assists to the regional minister, who assists to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
So that means I have a heavy responsibility in front of me. And he wanted to be here today, but we had to deal with a transition in our nation that was a major hit for us.
That's right.
And as much as we as a community wanted to go to Phoenix or go to LA, brother, I need you to stand down and I need you to represent me this weekend. So today, if it be the will of Allah, I am carrying the weight of the local representative on my shoulders. That's never an easy task, but it's a task that is destined for us to do. I was in banking for nearly 10 years. Before I left Wells Fargo, I was the assistant vice president at Wells Fargo. I've been in behavioral health in and out of most of my life. I'm a photographer, a designer, and a web designer. One of the things that I wanted to point out as my dear sister Zoe was speaking She talked about being an educator. And she talked about being inside the schools and the pain, the struggles, trying to figure out how to balance between being a parent to the children and being their teacher.
That's right.
I can bear witness to that, sis. Because working in group homes, you see children come in who have been stripped away from their parents. And a lot of times it starts in the school. The child is a troublemaker. They've been labeled. They have lower grades. They're causing a ruckus in the classroom. And the teacher who has a difficult time being able to balance their classroom and give attention to that child, they go to the principal. And this principal does not have any care for the child. So what do you think they do? They contact DCS. And when they contact DCS pertaining to the child and their misbehaved behaviors, DCS shows up to the home.
That's right.
And when they show up to the home, they start to see that there are things going on in the home that doesn't meet the standard of what this state desires of the parents.
Right.
And out of nowhere, I bear witness, I've seen it happen. They show up to the school. And your and I child is in the classroom. And they get called to the principal's office. And on that day, they're taken from their parents, never with a chance to say goodbye to the mother or father. On that day, they're removed from the classroom and they're sent to this facility. In this facility, they're sitting in with a whole bunch of other children trying to find a place that they're going to be placed at. And then we wonder why there's more behaviors out of the children. So these children come into my home. And you can tell they've been done wrong where they were at. So when they come in, one of the first things I have to do is break the ice. Strive to develop trust with these children. How the heck? You got children in here. Let me catch myself. How can I expect you to trust me when everywhere you went, you've been lied to and thinking you're going back home? So you misbehave in the home, and some of these other group homes can't handle that neither, so they send you back to the system. And you bounce from home to home to home to home to home, and they give the parents the runaround, and they never tell the parents what they have to do.
Come on, brother. Speak that truth.
And you look up and your child comes up and they grow up in group homes with many different siblings of many different races. They run into many different parenting styles that is not the style of their parent. And they grow up and become adults and they don't know who they are. So just to my brother Baba Amin mentioned, they're in an identity crisis. And I go to these different facilities and these different meetings. They call them CFTs. And they're trying to, I can't even say try. I've had so many young men with white mentors. Picture that. Young black men trying to grow up in this society with white mentors trying to be white saviors for them. Constantly fighting with the group home staff on what they think things should be for the child. Not thinking about, we may understand a little bit more than you do about how our children should be raised up. So yes, it makes it difficult for them to be in these school systems that don't care. Zoe, quick question. What is the ratio of students to teachers? About 30 to 1?
So my first year, 35. I have 35 students in my class. I can tell you your child is not getting the one-on-one attention.
There you go. There you go. And how can the parents give you the one-on-one when the father's been removed from the house in the first place? So what does mom have to do? Work 2 jobs. Grandmother is not grandmother anymore. Big mama's not big mama anymore. Big mama's out working too. Big Mama already raised her children, so what is Big Mama doing? Trying to enjoy her vacation now, her retirement. So the children are raising themselves and they're learning what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman from social media. They're learning from what they see on TV. But when they go into the classrooms, they're fighting against the teachers because they're not learning what is proper for them. And this is what we look at as a divided community. So I want to point something out. Just a few points, and I'm gonna try to keep it short. The brother sat here and he waited, patiently listening to every speaker. And as every speaker spoke, they inspired me to want to say more.
Yes, sir.
And inspired me to want to say more. There's a difference between unity and uniformity.
Yes, sir.
Uniformity is when you come in the same attire, the same look. You're dressed next to each other. That's uniformity. But see, unity is what we're seeing today.
Right.
Unity is when every sect, every organization, everybody within our community goes out and does what they do best. But we come to the table with our best minds and we feed each other.
Yes, sir.
That's unity. So there is at least one thing we should gain from today's activities and today's work is that we go out and we be the best of ourselves. And when we come back amongst each other, we are bringing the best to each other, not competing, but complimenting each other's weaknesses and uplifting each other's strengths.
That's right. That's right.
All praises be to Allah. Brother Baba mentioned about many leaving their homes and not wanting to partake in what was once theirs in the South. I was blessed to go to Morocco a few years ago. And believe it or not, Brother Baba, it's the same story there. We're driving through all of Morocco and you see all this beautiful land. These farms, these homes, and I'm talking to my tour guide and he's telling me, but the children are going into the city. And they're getting city jobs because they do not desire to till the earth anymore and work off of the land. They want to be just like they are in America. What example are we leading our people to? When we're too good and too self-righteous to go back to the root which we stand on. Oh, Allah. In education, and from education to home, did you know that there's studies that show when it comes to mother to child time spent after work, the child gets on an average of 1 hour a day? It's not a lot of time. When our children spend 8 hours a day in this enemy's education, with a needle being put into the brain, teaching them all these ideologies and teaching them all these self-hate, teaching them everything that when we try to educate them, it becomes conflict because I can bear witness. I've had my children do it to me at times. Well, my teacher said, but your teacher's wrong.
That's right.
So I had and my wife had to pull our daughters out of that school and rearrange it and put them in a school that we know that's best for us. The sad part is, as men, we only give our children 30 minutes per day. That's half the time of the women. And then we wonder why, when we see our children, they don't seem and they don't function like there was a man figure around because we're not giving up enough time for them. I get it, brothers. We have to work. We're the maintainers. We're the providers of our family. So we're away from the home. But that's where we cover down for one another. Yo, Brother Chamikas, I got to work this week. Yo, what's your schedule like? Oh, man, send them my way. I got him. Brother Hannibal, yo, I got to work this week. Send them my way. I got him. What are you working with him? I'm working on this. Perfect. I'll keep that same curriculum going. I'll keep that same study going. Hold on. What you doing on that video game? You know your father wouldn't let you play on that game until you finished your work. And before you get on the game, we got to do some other things too, because I want to make sure that you understand your hands feel comfortable in that dirt. And you know that's the root where you come from.
Right.
We talked about communities and operations for the men to speak and operations for the women to speak in. I thank Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, for wanting that for us. That in the 1930s, he would establish two separate entities within the Nation of Islam. One is called the FOI, Fruit of Islam. It's a man's only meeting.
Yes, sir.
Where we as men can come in on Mondays at 7:30. And we speak man talk.
Yes, sir.
I can't say what we talk about because we got women in the room.
Right.
But we speak on man talk. So that when we walk out of there, we know how to conduct ourselves as men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're able to get things off of our chest of the things that are going on in the world, so we know I'm not the only one going through that. Nah, brother, I went through that today too. Then he established on Saturday MGT, Muslim Girls in Training, and General Civilization class. The women's only class.
Right.
That's where our sisters are coming from.
Right. Coming from class.
See, we get 2 hours. Sister Cat, how much time y'all get?
4.
Wow. A nation cannot rise no higher than a woman.
Say it again, brother.
We are taught in the Nation of Islam that 75% of the work is with the woman. So if you look at that already, they're giving 2 times the time we're giving as men. Oh, y'all missed that. There was an argument one day, phrase it. There was a discussion.
Okay.
And the question was, does the man control the woman or does he control the environment? Now when y'all get home, have that conversation, see how your wife responds. And it was an ongoing debate. But the conclusion came to this. We as men do not control the woman. We control the environment in which the woman functions out of. Because if we control that 25% that represents the other 75%, that gives you 100%. But that 75% is her creative genius and her producing the future of our generation. So what you are looking at today, you're looking at an example of what God is showing us through these women.
Right.
They're not perfect.
No.
Well.
Right? But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said he's not perfect. But he said, I am perfect enough for you.
Say it again, brother.
I am perfect enough for you. We are striving as a nation to be an example for our people.
Wow.
I was talking to Brother Baba and I was in, no.
To somebody.
I was talking to somebody.
Yes.
now you got to try to think who it was now. But I was informing the brothers that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has a home here in Phoenix. Did you all know that? On the south side.
Yes, sir.
That's where I grew up at. And not just anywhere on the south side, it's in Park South, which is ranked number 2 a couple years ago in homicide. He got a mansion in the hood as an example of what each and every one of us can have in our own community.
Right.
Oh, brothers and sisters, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm just a little excited.
Take your time.
I'm excited because today's the day that we get to come together. You got organizations coming together, and this is what the enemy don't want to see.
Come on.
Do you know? And do you know what the enemy would do if they walk in right now and saw us together? It would be like Denzel Washington. I'm putting cases on all y'all. Shoot program. Because they know by us coming together and us speaking together and us actually working together like we should. Us actually putting our ego aside. Forget whatever religion, organization you are. But us coming together as a black man and a black woman first.
That's right.
Us coming together thinking about our children first.
That's
what
right.
we can really produce here in Phoenix.
That's right.
They feel
That's right.
And as my brother Tremicus mentioned, that Jesus figure we're talking about lives in each and every one of us. That represents the body of Christ.
Say it again.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, family is the essence of the nation. When you neglect your family, you have neglected the nation. When you uphold your family and look out for your family, you are looking out for the nation. Well, one way we look out for our family is this. My dear sisters, next time Allah blesses you, God blesses you to have a beautiful child in your womb, I want you to contact my dear sister Fatima. Because I'm tired of us going inside of these hospitals and being mistreated, and you have fear of coming out. But our dear sister Fatima, who I thank Allah, who my gosh, she's amazing. See, you hear these sisters right here, they know. She's so patient. And she does home births. She will come to your home and take you through the whole process. And once she's finished, it's such a different experience that you're like, why was I going to the hospital in the first place? And she's a sister. And she's great at what she does. So now that's how we used to give birth once upon a time. This whole hospital experience has become nothing but a money maker. And when your insurance is up, they're kicking you out.
Amen.
I don't want to take too much time. I know I've probably been going for a minute. So I'm going to hit 2 quick points. 3. I'm going to keep it at 3.
Give me shit.
I'm going to try. Inshallah.
Try inshallah. That's right, brother. Inshallah.
Brother Tremicus brought up being a supremacist. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at the monumental address, the criterion on July 4th, 2020, he talked about being racist. Because we take that word as such a negative thing all the time.
Come on.
I want to bring some positive to it for you.
Come on, brother.
How do you bring positive to racism? I'm not talking about racism.
Break it
I'm talking
down.
about racist.
Break it down.
He said you have a racist is someone who focuses directly on one particular thing.
Master.
And he said, I'm a violinist. Then you have pianist. And he said, I love black people. So I am a racist because I put my focus first into us. Before we can go and help others, we must first lift ourselves up.
That's right.
What's one way we lift ourselves up? Supporting grassroots.
That's right. That's right.
Off top.
Yes, sir.
How do we have a black-owned business that supports our books?
Come on, brother.
And we're ordering them on Amazon.
Come on, brother. Come on. That's real.
Then we support Bilal.
Say it.
And we support our Black Father Committee.
That's right.
Every brother in here should be part of that committee.
Come on. Come on.
Every brother.
That's right.
Then we support the local organizing committee. Every person in here should be part. There should not be one committee we are not part of.
That's right.
That's right.
That when we lean on each other, we know you can go to your community and bring it in.
Come on.
Man, hold on. Let me go back to the savage days for a moment. Let me just run it back to the savage days for a moment.
Okay.
When I was 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, we used to go to the Buzz.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
And I might go with a couple of my boys, but I was always part of different cliques. And then some Fridays, some Saturdays, all my cliques would come together. And we'll show up to the club 20, 40, 50 deep. Those days I talk the most trash. I ain't gonna lie. I talk trash that day. I didn't know then that Allah and God showed me how to work as a unit. That I was already comfortable reaching out to different communities and bringing us together as Brother Bilal has done today.
Come on.
That's the different experiences we have. But the thing is, we get focused only on our set. What am I doing? What are we doing? No. That we ain't just you and me. That we is us. What are we and us doing today? All right, these are my last 12 points. My dear brother Nuri Muhammad said, a good relationship will bring out the best in you and make you youthful. Some of y'all aging right now, huh? He said, a bad relationship will bring out the worst in you and age you prematurely.
Uh-oh.
Our brother Barack Obama aged real quickly in that first term election.
Sure did. Bad relationship.
If you look at us as a community, when you're doing what you love, and you're building the right relationship, as my brother Baba was mentioning earlier about traveling and going on vacation, when you're doing what you love, it's not work no more. When you love your people and you're out there with your people and you're helping to build your people up and they're helping to build you up, that's death lifting up life and life lifting up death. You are no longer dying, but you're regenerated to a new you. So I want to close out on this part right here as we get ready to go into the next part of our program. What will your legacy be? We don't work to create a legacy, but the work we're doing today will indicate how we're remembered tomorrow. So depending on how active we are, how much energy we putting into it, when people speak of you, when people come to your funeral, because we all will have one.
Yeah, that's true.
Outside of them lying about how much they loved you. Oh yeah, y'all don't know anything about that? You ain't been one of like, man, he didn't even rock with you. How will people really remember you? How will you live on beyond the grave? Will you live on by the impact you had on someone? That when they move on in their life, they're able to say, oh, Brother Tremicus taught me that. Sister Michelle taught me that. Brother Bilal taught me that. Brother True taught me that. I'm not doing nothing new. I'm just following in the steps that I committed myself to do, that they asked me to promise to do. So today, let's make a commitment that today and today moving forward, we will do better communicating with each other. We'll do better holding each other accountable. We'll do better working together. We'll do better removing the ego. We'll do better removing the arrogance. We'll do better removing the self-entitlement. And we'll be better brothers and sisters. Understanding that even though we may have disagreements, but when we step out in public, the enemy will never know.
Podium is definitely on fire. Glowing, it's definitely glowing. Man, give it up for Brother Hannibal Muhammad.